I promise you, the title of this video is not clickbait. Okay. I promise you. Wait, I promise you, okay? Just bear with me and roll with me. And since I'm a guy that's pretty big, I do roll pretty well, so you need to keep pace, okay?
Few inches later.
Remember that oh so little thing we did at the beginning of this year? The One Piece Top 30 Strongest Characters of 2021 had an 11-hour stream for this on my KOL Requiem channel, and I did a video last week, and people, of course, in the comment section were gnawing at each other's throats. Fun times, very fun times. Well, now we have a community version of the top 30 list, and all the credit goes to Baby Swag Monster on Discord for putting this community version of the top 30. So some things are pretty different from where I would rank characters, where I think other characters make a lot of sense. And there's one claim we have to make about a particular character.
Not yet.
First of all, let me get to Swag Monster's list, because his list does matter for this particular community poll. So we can see here on his list, we have Smoothie at number 30. Then we have Lucky Roo, Queen, Jozu somehow sneaks on in, Magellan, Garp / Sengoku, which is cheating, Rayleigh, Sanji, Law, Kid, City of the Rain, Ben Beckman, Katakuri, as Sawyer would say, King, Yamato, Zoro, Sabo, Marco the Phoenix, Greenbull, Fujitora, Kizaru, Mihawk, Aokiji, Luffy, Akainu, Dragon, Blackbeard, Shanks, Big Mom, and Kaido. That is his list, and according to him, he says at the bottom, less feats equals bottom of the tier, so don't shoot him. Okay, that'd be great. So don't go to his house, we'll try and find who he is, and try and light his place up. So now we got to his top 30, let's get to the top 30, the community version of the top 30. So, number 30 is Queen the Plague. Number 29 is Lucky Roo. Number 28 is Dofi. 27 is Boa Hankoku. Number 26 is Sengoku the Buddha. 25 is Eustace Captain Mid. 24 is Sanji. 23 is Law. 22 is Garp Chujo. 21 is Rayleigh. 20 is City of the Rain. 19 is Yamato. 18 is King the Wildfire. 17 is Murgo. 16 is the King of Hell, Enma, aka Zoro, Enma's host. 15 is Sabo. 14 is Katakuri. 13 is Greenbull. 12 is Fujitora. 11 is Ben Beckman. 10 is Kizaru. 9 is Aokiji. 8 is Luffy. 7 is Mihawk. 6 is Dragon. 5 is Akainu, 4 Blackbeard, 3 Big Mom, 2 the Red Hair Wonder Shanks, and number 1 Land, Sea, and Air Kaido is said to be the strongest. So that right there is the community version of the top 30 strongest characters of 2021. So you're probably wondering, how exactly did Baby Swag Monster get to this community version of this top 30 list? Basically, it's an aggregate of everyone's top 30 list from the top 30 stream that we did, plus his own list. So this is actually about 30 to 31 lists. So it's a lot of people for a good sample size to make a community version of the top 30 list. But you're probably a little bit confused because based on this point system, some characters have more points, but they're actually ranked lower. Like for example, Law has 189 points, who's under Garp at 163 points. But you have to trust the process. And Baby Swag Monster's process is based on a point and entry system. And based on this system, he calculates mathematically where these people are ranked with a final score that you see on the chart. Now you may be saying, oh hell nah, not math. Listen, you say, oh hell no, not math, but math is the future. You have to keep pace, people. Keep pace with the math. Otherwise, you'll be left behind in the dust.
This is no place to die.
I won't bore you too much, but in a general sense, basically people have some crazy takes, and Swag Monster accounts for those crazy takes mathematically. So out of the total 31 list, if a character's on all 31 lists, like Kaido for example, then their final score equals their points. So because Kaido is on all 31 lists, he therefore has an entry percentage of 1, which equals 100%. Therefore, he's on all the lists. That's why Kaido's point score matches his final score. However, some people that chose not to rank certain characters, even though these characters would normally be on the top 30 lists for whatever reason. So say that people don't want to scale Monkey D. Dragon because we haven't seen him fight yet, so leave him off the list, then Swag Monster will scale him up. So if they are on 80% or more of the list, so between 25 or 30 of the total list, then he scales them up based on the entry percentage in column G. And so this scale up is based on if this character was on all of the list, as if they were on 100%. So in Dragon's case, he made it on 26 people's list, which means that he is on 83% of the total list, which is 0.838. Because all we're doing is, of course, changing from percentage to decimals. So all you take is his total points, which is 469. You divide that by his percentage, the 0.8387, and then you get his final score of 559.19. So this is the basic gist of what Baby Swag Monster did to come to his final score based on the character's points and entries.
All of this just works.
Now, none of the boring stuff. Let's get to the fun stuff, okay?
Lovely.
Which, of course, is the One Piece power scaling cancer. There are a few major things that do stick out of the list, and the first thing is Doflamingo, honestly. People still think that Doflamingo is actually a top 30 strongest character at this point in time. But notice how we don't see Cracker at all in this community version of the top 30 list, when Cracker did a better job against Gear 4 Bowman than Doflamingo did. So the whole point here, I suppose, is the diversity of Dofi's powers, where Doflamingo does have a lot of unique assets at his disposal in terms of power. So even though he performed worse than Cracker did against Gear 4 Bowman Luffy, people still rate him relatively highly. Doflamingo, in theory, would do better against more opponents than Cracker would because of his versatility. And then on top of his Duff Food ability, he also has Conqueror's Haki. And so at this point in time, I think folks may assume that he has Conqueror's Haki infusion. But I think it's kind of weird, honest to God, because we've seen him in a full fight. I'm not gonna power up Doflamingo when he's in prison and Impel Down or on some prison shit, going to Impel Down, and give him Conqueror's Haki infusion when we saw him in a full fight and the dude couldn't beat the first iteration of Gear 4. He just couldn't do it. In fact, he was getting rolled by it. And honest to God, when you think about Kaido's statement about how the strongest guys in the verse can do something like this, and when he found out that Dofi lost to Luffy and Law, and he was crying when he was drinking about how Dofi was so weak, honest to God, it doesn't make to me much sense to put Doflamingo in the top 30 at this point in time. I think he's been phased out. Like, I would say he's somewhere in the bottom or like middle of 2nd Division Commander. That's why I kind of gauge Doflamingo at this point in time. Because the top guys, the best guys we've seen in Wano Country right now, so adversaries like Queen, King, Kaido, Big Mom, guys like Current Zoro, Current Sanji, Current Law, Current Kid, and so on. These people, if they fought against Gear 4, Bowman, Luffy, back in Dressrosa, they would do a better job than Doflamingo would. But that's Dofi. On average, also on the list, we see here at 21, people have Rayleigh as the strongest of the old man trio, which I find very surprising. Like, really surprised to have Rayleigh as the strongest of the old man trio. So that is going to probably absolutely require actually, a video in the future by itself. The third thing is that even though a lot of folks consider City of the Rain a future opponent for Zoro, Shiryu is number 20 on the list, and Zoro's number 16 on the list, which is interesting. I think that people believe that Shiryu's gonna get stronger before he fights against Zoro at some point in the future. Maybe that may involve Blackbeard. He's on the move right now to get something. I think by default at this point in time has to be stronger than Zoro because he's a future Zoro fight. Zoro on most folks' list is still not stronger than Sabo or Katakuri, which I think is actually pretty accurate. Based on the feats, Katakuri is stronger than every person in Wano Country right now outside of Luffy, Big Mom, and Kaido. He is the 2nd strongest Yonko right-hand man / vice captain. Ben Beckman still built different to the point where folks actually have him over 2 admirals, and that's a consistent thing here. Now, mind you, the points were between him and Fujitora, the final score, I should say, is not that big, but still, people do edge out Ben Beckman over 2 admirals, the newest admirals. So a lot of folks would deem them to be like, let's say, Dollar Tree admirals, something of that sort. So they're not quite the authentic admirals just yet. Now, current Luffy over Aokiji is actually pretty, that's pretty spicy. That's pretty spicy, but I can understand why. Luffy has made so many monumental gains in terms of power that you have to respect it. You have no other choice but to respect it. And we have to understand here that Luffy is getting to the point now where we're getting ready for Endgame. Wano Country is the gateway to the endgame of the series, as I've said before a lot of times, and a lot of folks, including myself, believe that Luffy, come the end of the series, will be one of the strongest, if not the strongest person on the planet, potentially in the planet's history. And since we're only a few arcs away from this endgame Luffy, it does make a degree of sense, absolutely, to have him stronger than Aokiji right now. Me, personally, I think it's a bit too, like, I'm being very conservative here with Luffy, but I can understand why easily. And then, of course, we have number 1, Land, Sea, and Air Kaido. Folks still believe that Kaido's number 1. Even though Kaido right now is on pace to lose to Luffy come the end of this arc, people still believe that Kaido is number 1. They believe that one-on-one you don't beat Kaido. And Kaido has been very, very, very impressive throughout the entirety of this arc. No breaks. No breaks, mind you. No time to rest, nothing. He's been doing so much work and he's been putting in those miles. You have to respect it. Portrayal-wise, there is one person right now who's alive that does surpass Kaido, absolutely.
Who's that Pokemon?
That is the Red Hair Wonder. But I can understand why a lot of folks put Kaido as number 1. Is the title of this video clickbait? No. Why? Because even though in front of Mihawk, we have Dragon, Akainu, Blackbeard, Big Mom, Shanks, Kaido, that's 6 people, right? So my math may seem faulty there, but no. 7. Because this is based on Monkey D. Luffy now. Monkey D. Luffy now. Luffy, come the end of his fight with Kaido, is going to be even stronger than Luffy is now. There's a very good case within the next 4 to 3 months, Luffy surpasses Dracula Mihawk in strength. I even talked about it in a Twitter post. I think it's actually very likely that Luffy does surpass Dracula Mihawk in strength come the end of this fight against Kaido. And I honest to God believe that when we do see this fight conclude later this year probably, that people will feel the same way. So yeah, it is 6 men, but honest to goodness, it really should be 7. Luffy is unironically so busted. When you think about all the characters that gotten stronger in this arc, so Law killed the Awakening, Zoro and his crazy power-ups, Sanji and his crazy power-ups, how good Yamato has been, Luffy is leaps and bounds above them all. And it is haunting and it is stupid. And you have to respect the Monkey D. It's happening. Mihawk is not going to be stronger than EOS Luffy. No shot. No shot. As the man said himself, becoming Pirate King is way more harder than being the world's greatest swordsman. The same way he viewed Whitebeard in Marineford War, how far he knew himself there was a gap between himself and Whitebeard. And Luffy, unironically, is either stronger than Old Man Whitebeard right now, or at least much sooner than you think, within the next 10 to 15 chapters, is going to be stronger than Old Man Whitebeard. That is the scary reality that we have to come to terms with. That is how nuts Luffy's growth rate is, and that is how we have to view Luffy, honest to God, probably real soon. When we do the top 30 again, Luffy may be genuinely in the top 5.